Morning, Jilly. Oh, what a floor. I wish I brought my smoothing plane. I'd have shaved it a bit. Anybody coming in? Adrian, come on in. The water's lovely.
Morning, Julie.
It's no use, dear. She's in a trance. Now, what shall I wear on a floor like this? Pit boots or ice skates?
The radiator's freezing.
Oh, my God, it isn't, is it? What does that caretaker think he's doing in that boiler room? These men in overalls are so bloody sordid.
They're not cold, they're warm.
I'm sorry, love, you haven't got my blood.
Is there an electric point in here?
What on earth are you doing, Cass? We're a school's tour, not a barber
I
shop.
need a shave.
Haven't you got a point in that dormobile of
The
yours?
socket's buggered.
Oh, my goodness, why not bring your gypsy friends in?
Don't criticise the dormobile, I just want a shave.
When you first bought that thing, you were going to lead such a glorious butch life, you and Mrs. Cass. Instead, you're always hunting around for a shave and shampoo.
And shower, darling. Every time I pull back a rubber curtain, there's Cass.
So why don't you two leave him alone? Let him live, for God's sake.
Oh, we'd love to, darling, but we expected this bronzed, healthy nomad. Instead of which, neither he or Mrs. Cass have had a decent night's sleep in that dormobile since we came on tour.
What's this about the dormobile?
The conversation's exhausted, darling.
Well, I don't want to exhaust it. Anyway, it isn't exhausted for me. Oh, it's all right for you bachelor boys, but we have to live economically.
We don't mind you living, dear, but we do object to your existing. You come out of that dormobile as stiff as old moles.
Please, everyone, will you let me work, please?
Oh, where was she last night?
She had an early night.
Oh, my God, and raped everybody in town.
Poor old soul, she isn't a cat, but what a night like.
Still,
Do
if
you
you're
know
going to be neurotic, you might as well be sexually neurotic. What on earth are you doing, Mrs. Cass? It's a bit early for coffee.
No, I'm just warming a hot water bottle. I've got to touch a cramp.
Oh, no wonder, dear. You try and stretch out in that bunk bed of yours. Your head's in the driving mirror, your feet in the exhaust.
Can I make a funny?
No wonder she's exhausted.
That's it. I thought it might not be funny.
It's the way you tell it, love.
La 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 la. Morning, all. La 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 la
Voice,
la.
but this isn't the Royal Opera.
I wish it was. Well, down to another wasted day in these icy halls, keeping this mortal body oiled and limbered like a racehorse on a wanton pursuit.
Ron, don't start, for God's sake. Anyone would think you loathed the dance.
I sacrificed my youth to this lunatic sport, giving impressions with my body when I should merely be giving it life.
You could always leave.
And send it back to life? You must be joking. The shock would kill his system.
Your day will come, Ron, when you'll choreograph your own ballet.
When I do, I have. But when do I get a chance to rehearse it, let alone show it?
Ask the dame. She's always open to new talent.
Show it to her, Ron. And when it's a rave, you can get out of tights and into comms.
Show it to her. That bigoted, narrow-minded, blinkered old cow. She's blind to new ideas, new thoughts, new talent, new voices. Our mute dame. No wonder we're the retarded class of the bally world.
Be careful, Ron, darling.
Don't give a Sunday pump.
The walls of our older folk have ears.
Did he hear?
He's at the age when he wants to get into the office, Ron. Beware. He doesn't mind who he uses as a stepping stone.
Oh, Christ, what a world, what a world. And to think I invested my youth in this ridiculous game.
Think of the audience, Ron, love. They don't think it's ridiculous.
School children in the afternoon and their parents at night. I don't care if I never see another school again.
He wants the London bass. He wants the London lights and the glamour.
I don't want any more schools, caretakers, chalky floors, snotty-nosed kids and their mums reliving the dying swan. We are humped in such a stupid old mould, I feel like a plaster cast.
We do some modern dance.
By the time our modern dance gets out of the workshop, it's as old-fashioned as cinder toffee. The dame cannot anticipate. Just let me demonstrate my new ballet. It anticipates the future.
Spacemen and all that. I've noticed you're an ardent fan of Doctor Who.
Very, very funny. I don't think you'd fit in my style, Ken.
Try me, darling.
Hello, Tina. How's your leg, love?
Are you still up these lads, dear?
It's a pulled muscle. I've just got to rest it and keep it warm.
Oh, warm. Impossible, love. In here, we're all stiffening up.
You might not if you exercised your body as much as your mouth, Kenny.
Oh, sorry, darling. I've noticed you're a great advocate of bodily exercise, especially position 99.
Oh, it truly is impossible to keep warm in here this morning. Cass, can't we get a fire somewhere?
Don't think that's got nothing to do with Cass.
He wants to get on, doesn't he?
Yes, but not by running after you.
It isn't too cold for class.
I'm sorry, love, my muscles won't respond.
My friend is not a Bakewell tart. His blood needs to be stoked up a bit before his muscles will respond.
You should bloody know.
Oh, now, Cass, I was only asking for a little extra heat, a little 2-bar electric or a paraffin lamp, or even go down that boiler room and get that caretaker to stoke up a bit.
You go to the boiler room.
Me in a boiler room? Oh, I'd never get out.
Oh, Merle, are you doing Tina's part?
Yes. We're going through it with Harry after class.
Oh, Christ. Does that mean I've got to stay back all through lunch today?
Oh, give the girl a treat. You know she's mad about you.
Her treat, my love. It's me who has to gaze up at her fanny all afternoon.
Go on, give the girl a chance to get you to go straight. It'll be an adventure for her.
Be an adventure for me if I get copped.
All that chocolate body going to waste. It's disgusting from her point of view.
Adrian, would you like to go through the list before class?
After class, darling. The cornflakes in my digs were dreadful.
You're lucky to get digs with your colour, love. Oh, here's the new boy. Morning, Brian.
Morning, Brian.
Brian, you do look nice. Ready
Notice
for
how
your
the
second
married
week?
couple rush up to fawn and smother him.
Oh, it's the parental urge, love.
What shoes have you got on, Brian? The floor's very rough.
I've got my old flats on. I suppose I'll survive.
Oh, my God, isn't he butch? My God, they come straight out of ballet school and behave like all-in wrestlers.
Second week, Brian. You must apply for your long service medal.
I'm glad you think I've qualified.
You're beautifully dressed, Brian. You're going to a function.
These are my lousiest clothes.
Oh, really, darling? I must ferret in your basket.
Hello, Harry.
Oh, here she comes.
Everybody here?
Summers hasn't arrived yet, Harry.
Oh, my God. Where was he last seen?
He spent the weekend in Oxford with a friend.
Can somebody check up on the trains from Oxford?
I'll do it, Harry.
No, love, I want you here. I need someone of sanity around. Tina, darling, could you look into it for me, please? Will your health allow?
Well, I can find a phone, but I have to teach Merle my part.
Well, you can teach Mo your part after class, my love. Then we are in for intensive rehearsal.
Why the intensive rehearsal, Harry?
Because I was out front on Saturday, that's why. I'm sorry, I could hardly bear to watch. Talk about doing your own thing.
You expect a bit of individuality, don't you, Harry?
A bit of individuality, yes, love. But the choreographer knows his job better than you do. And when he puts you somewhere, you get to it his way. You don't improvise a route.
Are you referring to the steps in my variation?
Oh, I could very well be wrong. Why must you edit everything the choreographer gives you to do? That's not individuality, love. It's just being a bloody nuisance.
He wants us all to keep to the book, his book.
Ron, don't mumble, darling. When the dame lets you work off steam in the workshop, then you can do your own thing. Otherwise, stick to the mood.
And smile. That's all he ever thinks about. Tits and teeth. He spent too long in the commercial theatre, that one.
Really, darling, your shoes, love. I had to bring them up myself in the car.
It's very kind of you, Harry, thanks.
When did you get here?
Oh, just 12 hours before everybody else.
Oh, you had an early night, did you?
I went out, Harry.
I mean, Ginny, darling, your personal business is not no concern of mine.
Then keep out of it, Harry. Thanks very much.
Well, now, who's missing? We don't have the character dancer from Oxford, we don't have the pianist, and we don't have the bar. Could we have the bar out, please?
I'll see to the bar, Harry.
It must be awful when you get old enough to rush to take responsibility.
Can't visualise it. Cass, shouldn't you be seeing about extra heat?
I've no orders to see to extra heating. Ask Harry.
Harry wouldn't know what I was talking about, love. What does he know about a dancer's needs? He wasn't trained classically, just muscled in.
How can a ballet master keep discipline if people like you disrespect him?
Get us some extra heat, love, and I'll promise to be good.
Is that bar going up? Or do we have to do freestanding exercise?
Yes.
Boys, don't let the girls do all the work. Christ, they do enough of the men's work
Heaving around to do. I'd have been a docker or a scaffolder. At least I'd have been paid for me efforts.
Adrian, are we going for lunch today?
Darling, is there anywhere civilized?
I'll have to take potluck with the natives.
Brian, look, listen, you were smashing last week. No, really you were, but we must do a bit more work in the suite. You know the promenade? You know, well, it's walk, preparation, lift, but you're getting much too far upstage.
I didn't know where I was going, actually.
Don't get lost, love.
Oh, what's the shape of the school halls, Harry? I mean, the last one was L-shaped.
I know, Hart, I know. I've been in more schools than a dirty joke. But we have to cope, love, you see. That is the challenge of schoolwork, coping. And giving our best. You know, we're like the Foreign Bloody Legion, dear. The forgotten men. But we are developing the audiences of tomorrow, you see.
Any notes for me, Harry?
Just to work more instead of wandering about the stage gossiping.
Thank you for that useful note, Harry. You'll need a suitcase, Brian.
Why?
To carry all those wonderful notes you're getting.
You're very lucky, Brian. The last note I had from Harry said we were evacuating Dunkirk.
Don't take much notice of him, love. He's not pure. Chorus boy in Sydney. It's a fact. Tits and titters down under, where the purists follow us.
And you can't go wrong.
Here comes a bride.
Enjoy your honeymoon, kids.
Yes, all 24 hours.
24 hours. Oh, better lower the bar.
How did you get the dame's permissions?
I didn't. We might not be able to breathe without the dame's consent, but I think we should be able to get married.
Caroline, we know you're leaving next week, dear, but that's no need to keep us all waiting, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry, Harry. I was here for the call.
Last week, love. Come and work with us. You'll be quite lonely next week.
Oh, don't say that.
I bet you're glad to be leaving, aren't you?
Yes, I am. No more of this next week.
You are lucky. Out into the world to be a real person, not a bloody robot.
Yes, I am.
She's got the shivers.
Well, you can't blame her. It's a big step up to being under the dame's wing.
This is it. We've all got the shits from the age of 10. We realise we're going to spend or misspend our youth learning this nonsense. Then when we're 20, we dread the horrid number 30, and time goes by like quicksilver.
It's all a matter of attitude. I'm 30. Not a word about the company, of course. I'm not worried.
You have no ambition.
Peppick, love. Is that the way you normally play? Or is it the effect of your honeymoon?
No, it's just piano, Harry. D flat. It's taken a turn for the worse. And F. They go, just listen to them. Keeps missing out on F. It's doing it again. There, did you hear that? Missed out on F.
Well, we've all missed out on F at some time or other, love. Right, are we all ready?
You don't expect us to start work in this temperature, do you, Harry?
I expect you to start when I tell you to start. And I don't expect you to run the company behind my back.
He was thinking of me, Harry.
Let me think of you, love. I know what's good for the muscles. Trust me.
Harry, it is cold. Have you felt those radiators? And you're probably dashing into some hot school this afternoon.
Well, in and out of different temperatures is awfully trying, Harry.
So really, we would like more heat.
This is a rebellion, for God's sake. You're getting spoiled by my easy-going nature. If the Dame gave you the order, you'd do your class in the Arctic Circle. Oh, let me feel those radiators.
You'll find they're freezing.
Can I trust to my own sense of feeling for once? Tina, darling, what is the news about Summers?
Well, the train left Oxford, Harry, on time.
But was sunshine on it?
Well, I couldn't ask them that, could I?
Well, why not, for heaven's sake?
You try describing Summers over the phone to British Railway.
Oh, daughter. Well, I do see what you mean, love. Well, now, boys and girls. Hilda Floor. Might we start work?
I don't think we should, Harry.
You don't think we should? Are you taking the class?
We can't work in these conditions, Harry.
Well, nobody's seen the caretaker,
I mean,
Harry.
it's
Nobody's even
ridiculous.
been consulted.
Christ,
even awesome. Do we have a vote on it, Harry?
I think we should have a vote.
Are you a bloody shop steward? In all my years with the company, I never heard anything so outrageous. Do you think I don't know my job? Do you think I'd plunge you all into exercises that would rip your muscles apart? You're in my hands. Trust me.
What's the alternative, Harry?
Oh, you have the alternative. Get on the phone to the Dame and say there's a vote of no confidence on the Ballymouse.
For God's sake, the first thing to weaken your resistance is this bickering. If you just relax, let your minds relax, then your bloody muscles wouldn't be so tense and cold. Well, I'm ready to start work, Harry.
Oh, well, there's one worker. Now, does it have to come to a show of hands, or do we work?
I have a heater, Harry. And another one outside. The caretaker was laid in this morning. She thinks he's a bit behind, but he's stoking up now.
Thank God for that. That's another disaster averted. Now then, my molly-coddled chickens, I trust we can start. Places, please. 2 demis, 1 grand plie in each position twice, right? Balance and hold, turn on the other side. Music, maestro, please. Anything but the honeymoon waltz, dear. Preparation. 1, 2, and. Plie. Relax the shoulders, everyone. Bottoms in, love, bottoms in. No advertising, please. Just relax the neck. Pull up from the back of the head. Now concentrate, boys and girls. Please, last Saturday night's performance was a disgrace. Like a feeling bloody circus. All doing your own thing, you know. Not one of you was working together. Look at me, every movement set on. I'm expressing myself beautifully. Not good enough. Adrian, don't look at the floor, love. There's no mirror on the floor. Head up. That's like a bunch of bananas, Adrian. And pull up over the rib. Point the toe. Go out to the hips. finish with a flourish, girls. You know me, Harry. Never mind coffee. A minute ago, you were all complaining that your muscles were stiff. When you're all warm enough, then we'll think of a break. Now then, are we all flexible, are we? Little muscles protected, no stiff sinews, cold cartilages. Good. Well, we'll do a few jumps, and then we'll break for coffee. Now, 4 in first position, 4 second, 8 changements. All right? All right, Patrick. Yeah. And check. Forward the toes. Right. All right, break for coffee. Brian.
Yes, Harry.
Just a word in your ear, love. Too much of the Fairy Prince last week. I mean, I know you're straight from ballet school and you feel lovely and grand, but we're a dramatic company, child, you know. We're not your festivals and your royals, you know. We are dramatic.
Well, I see, Harry, but I can't change my training in a week.
I'm not asking you to change, love. I wouldn't be so foolish, but just remember, you're not going to be a Fairy Prince here. Or a bloody Swan King. You're too precious, love. You know, you must learn to let down that Fairy Prince front. I learned early on there was none of the Fairy Prince in me. You see, you've got to find yourself, love. You know, find your own character, not some ballet school projection of yourself. You don't mind me telling you all this, do you?
Of course not, Harry. It's your job.
Oh, thanks, love. Make it public, won't you? Now, you take notice.
Yeah.
All right, off you go and finish your coffee. Tina, will you run Merle through your part now, love?
Who's going to her?
Which boy do you work with?
In the first variation, it's Cass.
Oh, Cass?
Coming, Lockhart.
Listen, could you all just go in... Adrian? Where are you in the Grand Jeté sequence, love?
I come bouncing out of the corner.
Well, could you just mark it through for me? Oh, my God. You mean you do all that from stage left?
Only for the last year.
Oh, I must pay more attention, mustn't I? You see, I didn't write all those notes down, you see, because I had them in my head at the time. Which girl are you going to?
Oh, it's me, Harry.
Well, could you just let me see that bit, please?
Jeté.
Yes.
Run. See her. Stop. Will you count your fingers?
Yes, right.
Adrian, love, she is your partner, you know. She's not a bunch of coconuts.
But aren't we only
No, but I mean, you
marking?
must try to look more
I've been
enthusiastic.
travelling all night. I'm so
Oh, Christ.
tired.
I better go and make that phone call, see if I can track down the prodigal queen.
Oh, sorry.
Jilly, love, will you please try and have a word with Merle about that dog of hers? It's a bloody nuisance.
Oh, we all need someone to love, Harry.
Oh, I know, Hart, I know. It's bad enough bringing it on tour, but it's playing hell with the points in the dressing rooms. Not one of the girls will be able to get up on point if he softens their toes up much more.
He is a girl.
Oh, well, dear, that's much worse. Bitchy's piss goes right through the canvas. Now, you go and get on with your coffee.
All right.
We're waiting, Julie.
Okay.
Now, Adrian, I want you to work on that lift, love.
It'd be nice to get started.
No, where was I going? Oh, the phone. Cass is in charge, everyone.
Good old Cass. Bit of responsibility. Won't be long till you're in the office now, Cass.
No need for that supercilious remark, Ken.
It wasn't meant to be supercilious, love. I mean, when you get to Cass's age, you've got to watch the shortened future.
What do you think about?
I am the only rat in this trap who enjoys the life, Patty.
And if it's a trap, why are you in it?
Imagine me down the mines, love. You're being well noted, Brian.
I suppose it's the privilege of the newcomer.
It's an absolute deluge coming from Harry.
Oh, I appreciate them.
Useful, were they?
Very, thanks.
Not so much of your fairy prince, son, was that it? You're too precious. We're a character, not your festival, or your royal.
Oh, so then it's standard, huh?
Oh, Harry has no other phrases, dear boy. Spent his youth in the chorus line of Guts and Garters. He learned his technique from a do-it-yourself paperback.
Well, then, how does he hold down a position like this if he has no classical training?
My dear boy, this is rougher work than lion taming. Who else would do the dame's dirty work except an old maid like Harry? I mean, she has no other life, has she? She's been on tour so long, she hasn't slept in the same bed 2 nights running. She spells home D-I-G-S.
Dig, sir.
And when he does go home to his mother, he calls her landlady. Oh, by the way, where do you live in town?
Oh, well, I go back to my parents. In Kingston.
Kingston, Jamaica?
The other one.
If you're looking for a flat in South Kent, there's one going.
A flat?
I may be a little over-descriptive, but my father was an estate agent. Share a flat, a room. If you bring your own colour stove, you won't have to share the kitchen with me and Adrian.
You and Adrian?
Sparkling company, dear. On Saturday night, we all drink milk out of the same saucer.
Well, I'd love to think about it, Ken.
The offer won't hold forever, dear.
Well, it's very nice of you.
Caroline, after 7 distinguished years, is quitting the company.
Well, can you give me a day or two to think about it?
You don't need a day or two, dear. You should know in your heart that if you're going to spend a year on tour, you need a little hearth you can rush back to. We all do. I mean, there's no point arriving back at Euston and finding you've got to catch the last train back to Kingston, where Mum and Dad are waiting for all the news. Oh, no, dear. You need a little pad you can flee to, where you can be relaxed, resigned, and raped if need be.
Hold onto your hats, everyone. Telegram from the Dame. She's keeping Summers back in London this week. He's stepping into the resident company. Well, it's only for a week. One of the character boys is down with flu, so she's keeping Summers back to take over. Now then. Reshuffle, reshuffle, reshuffle. The back of cards must be reshuffled.
It shouldn't be difficult, Harry. It's only the Baron. You can step into it, surely.
Oh, well, not this time, Hart. I want to be out front. Later in the week, perhaps. Now then, snap decision. Ken, it'll have to be you.
The matinee or this evening's performance?
Both.
Both. That's damned hard work.
Yes, well, you're here to do damned hard work.
If you could do one of them...
I've taken enough on my shoulders, love. You will do both performances.
It's rather hard, Harry, when he's dancing his own part as well.
Life is hard, Ron. You keep telling us. I've seen both parts dance before in one day.
Yes, but if you were to share the load, Harry...
Nobody shares my load, dear. Why should I jump in to share his little burden?
I haven't got time to get changed after my part.
You know you have. You've done it before.
Harry, it's a character part. I am a dancer.
You act the fool often enough at rehearsal. You could do the stage for a change.
There's no need for that.
Wasn't there?
It was a snide remark.
Listen, if I took offence at every snide remark made in the class, I'd have a skin like a dartboard.
Maybe it's too impenetrable.
I've taken a lot from you, Ken. This is an emergency. You are taking Summers's part, matinees and evenings. If you don't like it, you can get on the phone to the Dame.
Can't you make a decision without reference to the Dame?
I have made a decision. You are dancing the character role in Summers's absence.
All right, I'll do it. I'll do the steps, as long as you don't expect me to act it. I'll do it straight-faced.
Well, you can't get away with that. I'm playing the lead. I can't do it if you're poker-faced.
Oh, my God, I thought you'd lost interest in leads. I thought you had your sights set on administration.
Well, I've maintained enough interest not to be made a fool of on stage by a whippersnapper like yourself.
Christ! Stop it, will you? You keep going on and on. It's driving me mad. Can we not work, Harry? Can we not do something instead of standing around here mouthing?
Decisions you want.
It's making me sick.
First positions, please. I want to see Ken dance right through the character role.
With or without the grimaces?
If the grimaces are absent during the performance, you will be in choppy waters, my dear boy.
You've been here all night? Dancing in the dark, was it?
Christ, it was hard to sleep after that funeral.
You dancers look for storms, even in your teacups.
Don't you think it was terrifying last night?
Mild case of tantrums and hysteria.
Where do you musicians get your phlegmatic attitude from?
Years of learning boring techniques have given us stiff upper lips.
What about our years of technique learning?
You dancers have the terrible challenge of the bare boards to keep you on edge. We have the reassuring guidance of the keys.
Pethick, I'm glad you married Sue. Oh, I hope you take her away out of this mad setup. It'll do her good, the settled life, security. I didn't congratulate you properly.
Thanks. And you?
Well, when another real man comes into the company, perhaps I'll be lucky.
Morning, both.
Oh, Christ. Why is the bar up already?
Just get on and use it, Ron.
I'm sorry, darling, but early frosty morning jerks is one of the hazards of my trade I won't risk. What's it all about, Pethick?
It's an early morning call, one of Harry's edicts.
I know it's an early call from Her Majesty, but no need to get Rumpelstiltskin out to put the bar up with his fairies.
It's only 5 minutes early, Ron.
It is perilously early. It's like loading up the early morning mail train at Waterloo. No, I'm sorry, this calls for a consultation on my ballet. Pethick, bit of creativity?
Yes, I don't mind.
It astounds me, Ron, how you loathe the dancing yet want to create a new ballet.
I don't loathe dancing, I loathe dancers. Having been a pawn in the hands of a bad chess player for so long, it'll delight me to plot the moves.
The Grand Master, Ron?
Precisely. Now, Pethick, that passage in the middle section. Here comes your beloved. I must say she dresses nicely for class now she's married.
Hello, darling. Seems warmer in here.
Harry's been stoking up the boilers all night to keep the peace.
Hell, is it as bad as that?
Look, can we drop the high tension now? I want to talk to Ron about his new piece.
Peace? Monument, for God's
How can you
sake.
talk about new works when the atmosphere is crackling?
It isn't crackling for me. Now, Ron, the tempo I want to take in this centre section is very fast. Do you think the dance will
I want
take?
to cut the centre section, the whole Adagio passage out.
What a butcher. Why?
I can't ask them to dance to that.
So the music has to be mutilated? You must respect the music, Ron.
I do respect music, but I have steps to make.
Ken isn't coming out of his dressing room. He hasn't even changed.
Does Harry know?
Oh, they passed each other in the corridor. There were so many daggers looked. I was nearly pinned to the wall. Here comes the peacemaker, Cassie Kissinger.
Hello. Morning, everyone. I've brought some extra heating.
Oh, we really don't need it, Cass. It's terribly hot in here.
Oh, well, we can't have too much of heat, we tropical flowers.
It's a very dry heat, though, Cass. I find it difficult to breathe.
You look well enough. Roses are blooming. Hey, you haven't anything to tell us, have you?
No, I have nothing to tell you, Cass.
You're not worried about your career, are you, darling? Don't let that stop the mating instinct. You can pull back after having a baby. Patty pull back. For the first 3 months, you dance on. Then the dame gives you walk-on pass to the London company for the rest of the time. You can break your waters in Swan Lake, no bother.
The dame doesn't know we're married yet.
You mean you didn't tell her? But she might well know. There are many lines back to the womb.
Oh, my God. More trouble. So, my love, you should have asked her blessing. You are her favourite dancer, and you know what she thinks about marriage. You don't belong to one man, you belong to the world.
No use explaining that my man is the world to me.
Not without her permission, my love.
Morning.
Ah, morning, Mo. You look bright and breezy this morning. Did I see you out exercising that dog in the ghastly small hours?
Where are you looking, Cass?
I noticed 2 scurrying figures hopping to do their dirties on the grass. 7:30, was it?
You know, Cass, you really should try sleeping. Even the MI5 have regular hours. Are you enjoying your second week, Brian?
Very much, thanks.
Listen, last night's fireworks, don't let them upset you.
I didn't and I won't.
After a hard touring slog, we all tend to get a bit overtired.
I see.
Some of them like to make loud noises just to prove they're not forgotten. Oh, but don't think you're forgotten, because you're not. You're not forgotten by the dame. She never forgets. She keeps turning up to show she remembers us.
When did you last visit?
It was when we were in Cardiff, I think.
When were you in Cardiff? Well, last season, last year?
No, it was just before I had my baby.
Oh. Well, how old is your baby?
Listen, Cass will tell you how the dame follows up progress. Cass, Brian's really shaping up well. You know, you were saying.
Oh, yes, I love your style, Brian. It's very fluid, very fluid.
Thanks very much, Cass.
Listen, did Harry tell you about your shoulders in the brises before you do the final pirouette?
No.
Oh, then it's none of my business. I'm sure he will tell you. It's just that, well, I think you're using too much shoulder. Less shoulder, lots of feet, use the floor, then jump.
Yeah.
Look, would you like to try it? Have a go.
I mean, don't use too much at all, otherwise you can't sort of do the brises. It's brise, 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 volley, brise, volley. There. Yes, it's better. Preparation pirouette. See, that's much better.
Shoulders.
That's much better.
That's much better.
Listen, you don't mind my telling you, do you?
Of course not. I want to learn.
No, that's good. No, Brian, you know, you'll get on awfully well if you show that you want to learn, to fit in.
I do.
Oh, and a word of warning. I hope you learn quite soon that Ken is a malign influence.
Oh, please, darling, no politics.
Well, he seems quite nice.
Oh, he is quite nice.
Because he does tread on thin ice, and...
Morning, all.
Oh, hell, here comes Adrian without Ken.
Haven't you brought Ken out with you, Adrian?
I wasn't aware that either of us was primarily an escort.
My 2 terrible flatmates have been quite naughty. I tried to pour oil on the fluttered feathers.
OK, boys and girls, Harry would like us to make an early start, so positions at the bar, please. Piano, please. Oh, sorry to break up the workshop in the corner, Ron.
I can stop and start like a time switch, Cass. I've been trained in automation since childhood.
Oh, it astounds me how you can perform such creative feats with the burden you bear, Ron. Adrian, would you please fetch Ken?
When Ken needs fetching, I'll borrow your wheelchair, Cass.
Oh, don't try and be sarcastic without Ken. It doesn't suit you alone. You need something to bounce on.
Are you suggesting I'm his echo or something?
Oh, his shadow or some damn thing. Oh,
Do I sense a mood of labour?
We're all ready, Harry.
Good. Well, is the place hot enough for you, Vaughan? Clean enough? Well, I have been slaving away all morning to get it right, so I would appreciate a little cooperation in exchange. Right. Let's have a normal day's work. Shall we? 2 demis, 1 grand plie, twice in each position. Balance and hold. Turn on the other side, eh? Frederick, let's have a quick waltz, love, will you? We are all here.
He knows damn well we're not.
I think we aren't, Harry.
You know Ken's still in the dressing room, don't you?
I don't know anything, loves, except work, work, work. Well, we'll deal with the absentees and sundry latecomers as they show their faces. Preparation, 1, 2, and demi-plie.
Mo would love my place in the flat.
We have perpetual matchmaking, no thank you.
Frightened she might succeed.
Relax the show. Oh, good morning, Ken. Nice of you to join us.
I hurried, love. I thought I heard the marshal's summons.
Just take your place at the bar. Boys and girls, go with the music. You're all as stiff as pokers. Gillian, darling, what have you done with your hair? You look moon-faced. It's like a boiled egg. When you use your hair properly, it gives your face shape.
It's going to be one of those blistering mornings.
Pardon? I thought I heard you speak.
Oh, not me, Harry.
Adrian Dark, what on earth is that movement, love? I'm sure it has a technical name, but I can't imagine what it would be unless it's potpourri.
That's the nearest he'll get to a classical term.
Mo, come along, darling. You're not walking the dog, you know. Poise, poise. Show us what you've got.
I didn't think he'd be interested in what anybody's got.
Caroline, we know you're leaving, love, but you'll have to do better than that if you want a whip round at the end of the week.
She doesn't see she's terribly disturbed as the week draws to a close.
Preparation. 1, 2. And. Brian, love, too much of the fairy prince, even at the bar. Too much of the fairy prince.
Said the fairy queen, really what a bitch.
Penny, listen, can't we have a bit more of the emphasis? Dum, da, dum.
The extent of his musical knowledge.
Stop! This is the first time I stopped a class of mine in 20 years. But I will not have this much.
Don't be hard, Harry.
Hard? I'm so soft with you lot. I wonder I don't bend at the knees. I tell you what, there isn't a medical term for my case. It's just lack of a piece of iron right down the middle somewhere. But I'm going to develop it. And I cannot run the class against a background of dissent.
We don't know what you're talking about, Harry.
You may not, Ron. But one of us here does know what I'm talking about. That one! And his cronies.
Who are his cronies? Who fits that description?
If the cap fits well.
I don't see any cronies.
Why don't you come out into the open, Harry?
All right. I will come out into the open. You all know what I'm talking about. That disgusting behaviour on stage last night has degraded the company and made a split in a superbly welded team.
Superbly welded team.
Oh! That's enough of the sniggering. You have been the leader of this revolt, smirking away behind the back of your hand. Oh, it's in the open now. There's going to be no more turning a deaf ear to all the little insinuations. Last night, you disgraced yourself and the company with your non-performance.
Non-performance? He never danced better in his life.
He never danced. He merely went through the motions.
Pity you couldn't emulate his motions.
I don't wish to attain the heights of a wax dummy.
Cass, let me do this, love, please.
Oh, no, Harry, let the old man go on.
Yes, I will go on. That part requires acting. Otherwise, it's useless for Jill and I to go through with the pas de deux.
Oh, leave me out of it.
I'm not going to leave you out of it. You and I fought against this performance last night. And speaking personally, I'll never do it again.
Oh, a strike, a strike.
Just talking about performance, love. You're standing there with your hands in your hips and glaring at it. It was not entirely ethical, you know.
Harry, he couldn't help it.
He has to help it. When he's up there, he is a disciplined performer in full control of himself, body and mind. I've danced on when things have been thrown at me.
Where was that? Sheffield Gaiety.
And that's another thing, Ken. Your utter contempt for my qualifications. Oh, true. My training did not reach your startling peaks. But what I didn't get in training, I got on the track. And when you're my age, son...
Well, no, mine boggles to be your age, Harry.
How do you want to do my job? Give that another really stop. This is the moment I
can't stand it anymore. All this hate and viciousness. Why can't we work? Let's forget last night.
Give her
Stop
air.
this hate.
Give her air. Tina, hold her up.
Some deep breaths. Come on.
this, Julia. Up your nose. That's it. Tina, put a coat around her and take her for a walk on the grass outside. A chair, please. Thank you, Cass. So, this is my touring company. This is my little band of pioneers, is it? While the resident companies stay in London, playing to dutifully packed houses, accepting the plaudits which come their way as automatically as the touring season, this little band of soldiers carries my banner far afield. But what's happened to my banner, eh? Harry, what's happened? A little tattered, a little sordid, a little soiled.
Nothing's wrong, Dame.
Something is wrong, Harry. I know exactly what happened last night, my God. Do you think I produce a brainchild like my company, and I'm not aware of what is happening in every limb, every cell, every nerve, every pore? You don't breathe without my heart beating with you. I know exactly what happened last night. Cass, come here. And all of you, put something warm on. Cass, you last night stood with your hands on your hips and glared across the stage, a non-choreographed move, to say the least. Now, don't tell me why you did it. How far you were incensed, that is of no matter. When you are on stage, you are part of my company. In front of that audience, you are me as surely as if I was out there.
Yes, sir.
I know you're nearing the end of a good, solid, hard-working career, and you want to come into administration with me. Don't you, Cass?
Yes, sir.
Cass. Administration means iron control. Iron control, do you hear? Not a break in self-discipline. Go about your business. And nurse that body. It's the caretaker of your life. Patty, here.
Yes, Dame.
Cass isn't looking too well. I'm not saying he looks ill, but he has a cramped look about him. Get rid of that dormobile.
But to make it economical, we have to tour in it.
I
Dame.
don't care what you have to do in it. The man is haggard. You may have the soul of a gypsy, but look at you, you're sagging. Now stop penny pinching. I'm going to digs, good digs.
Yes, Dame.
Run along.
Yes, Dame.
Ron, come here.
Yes, Dame?
Ron, you think I've forgotten your choreography, don't you? Don't you trust me? When you confided in me, did you think I would just forget? Ron, nothing my children tell me is ever forgotten. I wish you would understand that and love me.
I haven't been offered the workshop.
Ah, there we have it, you sullen boy. And because you haven't been, does that mean never will?
More promises.
I wish you would believe that like a hungry fighter, a hungry choreographer gains intensity.
I told you 9 months ago I wanted to do a ballet.
And tell me, Ron, have you worked better at it since then?
Well, yes.
I'll have a look at your work, and then, if it's good, we'll commission a young composer to write a score for you.
I've already asked Pethick, Dame.
He isn't a composer, neither is he a ballet musician. He is an out-of-place pianist who, because his gut isn't in the ballet, will wander out of it as he wandered in. Now, don't let him disturb your work. We'll find a real composer, do you hear? Run along and nurse that body. It's the caretaker of your life.
Thank you, Dame.
Merle, come here.
Yes, Dame.
I hear you're in love.
Do you, Dame?
Yes. I encourage it, Merle.
It isn't encouraged elsewhere, Dame.
Never mind. Woo him, pester him, win him. Girls who turn their affections to dogs get accused of damaging the dancing shoes.
Oh, she doesn't damage the shoes, Dame, honestly. She's very well trained.
Not what I've heard, darling. Mysterious complaints of chewed points and urine-rotted pumps reach my ear. Go after your man, get along, and nurse that body. It's the caretaker of your life. Brian!
Yes, madam.
Now stay where you are. A little bird tells me that you're settling in well.
Thank you, madam.
Call me Dame. Even though I'm not one of that exalted order, it was whispered so much behind my back I had to bring it out into the open. So, Dame?
Yes, Dame.
Well, how do you like your fellow nestmates? Unruly, naughty robins, but birds of a feather nevertheless. I hear you're thinking of moving into Kenneth Welsh's flat. Your private life is none of my business, but I'll watch your decision. And look after that body, boy. It's the caretaker of your life. Caroline.
Yes, Dame.
So you're adamant. You're leaving us.
Yes, Dame. Well, I hadn't planned. I haven't turned round yet.
Your body. Your body, you'll care for that.
I'm going to stay with my mother, Dame. She has a house in Sussex. She says I can rig up a bar in the front room. I'll practice every day.
And miss all this?
I have to try it, Dame. I must find out if there's anything else to me.
Are you afraid, girl?
Yes, Dame, I'm very afraid.
7 years going round schools without complaint. You've been a good girl, Caroline. But when a company member asks to leave the touring group, I do not, on principle, offer them a job in London. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it.
I do realize that, Dame.
All right. Breathe the outside world. Live a normal life. And then when you're sure there is nothing else, come and see me if you want to be in the London company.
Oh, Dame, thank you. Thank you, Dame.
Run along. You're softening me. And nurse that body. It's the caretaker of your life. Adrian, come here, my boy.
Yes, Dame?
I hear one of my company is pining for love of you.
Is there, Dame?
What are you going to do about it? Come along.
I like her very much, Dame.
Then can't you get around her? I don't like forlorn maidens in my company. Get round her.
I may not be her sort, Dame.
We know that, but let her have a sample first. Then if she relishes you as little as you fear you may relish her, her love will soon turn sour. But it can be done, you know. Being gay doesn't mean you're stuck in chains, but being weak does. Get my meaning?
I'm not sure, Dame.
Being Kenneth Welsh's boyfriend isn't completely subduing. But being his weak sidekick is. He's crushing you. Crushing you. Get along. And don't be mocked out of your own decisions. And Adrian, nurse that body as the caretaker of your life. Well, fledglings, did you think your old broody hen had forgotten you? No, never. Mr. Welsh, I think we owe the public either an apology or a rebuke. Now, which is it to be?
I dance my part, Dame.
No, stay where you are, Mr. Welsh. Let's shout across the room. Let's keep it public. Don't treat me like a dumb lawyer, Mr. Welsh. I know when dancing is not dancing, and that's when there's no inner light in it. You're not a puppet, Mr. Welsh. Far from it. You're a very cheeky chappie. You have spirit, defiance, life. That's why I chose you. Now, do you apologize?
I suppose the alternative is the sack.
Don't frighten yourself, boy.
I'm not frightened. I'm not frightened of threats.
You're terrified. As for myself, I couldn't be so hard-hearted as to do it to you, darling. If I got rid of you, nobody else would touch you. You know how small the ballet world is. When the other directors hear that the dame has got rid of an erring dancer, that dancer is dead. You've seen them. Trying to keep supple in their bed sits. Scanning the stage for a little television job, or the back row in nudes is good news. No, my dear boy, how could I sack you? Besides, I like a dangerous element in my company. It excites me. And when I'm excited, the thrill goes right back to every limb, every nerve of the body which I made. No. Either you apologize in front of the girls and boys, or I rebuke you.
I apologize, Dame.
Not to me. To your ballet master.
I apologize, Harry.
Don't worry, Kenny. We all get upset at sudden changes, you know. It did come out of the blue.
Shut up, Harry, and come here. Yes. Harry. You're the ballet master. These kids have got to be mothered, let's face it. There isn't a dancer in the world who doesn't have to have somebody to tie their shoelaces and to tell them how beautiful they are.
I know, Dame.
Don't say you know, I'm telling you. And furthermore, before you can mother them, you've got to win their respect. You have a latent fear of being serious with the world in case it kicks you in the teeth and knocks you down. I need you to be serious, Harry. I want a ballet master whom the kids will respect. I know you're not classically trained. That doesn't matter to me, so it shouldn't matter to them. You've got what it takes. Now forget your chorus days, Harry. Forget it all, and so will they.
I'll try to.
Now be serious with yourself, Harry, and with them. What's wrong with Gillian?
Well, she is a very neurotic, Dame. You know, she does very weird things.
Like?
Well, she gets to town before everyone else and just picks up any old navvy to shack up with and then comes in the morning and just grinds into work.
You know there's mental trouble in the family.
Yes, I know.
Look after her. I'm telling you, Harry, there's a muse of dances in that Gillian. And whenever I'm tempted to chuck it all in and do something sensible with my old age, I look at that girl and I'm filled with vigor, honor. Yes, honor. It's an honor to be with her. I can't dance anymore. I can't write music. I'm not a choreographer. What am I? An organizer. I can organize the dancing for the likes of Jilly to find her true self in. It's an honor to do that. That scrawny, eccentric little hen, moving about with her suitcase and her bloody shoes and her pipe tobacco and her corn plasters. I think if ever this company folded, I'd follow her around tying up her laces for pantomime. When she moves on stage, hiding her craziness under her grease paint, I could move mountains. Right, go along. Let me look at my mice.
All right, perfect. Dame, haven't you forgotten Sue? What about her magic moment?
She had her magic moment when she married you.
And is she not to be forgiven for that?
She owes her body to the world, young man, not to you.
My God, you're incredible. You want everyone here to believe that you sacrificed your life to the dance, but in reality, you simply squeezed the dance for your own emotional orgasm. You use these kids.
Stop it. You don't understand the dance. You understand
No, let him go on. He's bringing us a breath of fresh air. I use these kids. How?
You use these kids as a battlefield for your own emotions. You expect them to lead lives you never dream of leading yourself. You're corrupt. These kids are your emotional puppets, and your only feelings are in your fingertips. You have no heart. You let them be your heart, but you've corrupted it because you will not let it beat of its own free will. You're evil, and everyone here has long since had their minds removed.
We will absorb your theory, all of us. Now, will you play?
I resign. I'm not playing.
You're leaving the boys and girls without music. You deny them food when you deny them music, Maestro. That is a cardinal sin.
And you deny them life, and that is an obscene sin.
Then it's up to us, Harry. If I play piano, will you take class?
Of course, Dan.
I shall have to hammer out something with my own horny hands. Step aside, deserter.
Come along, Sue.
She will not break her contract.
You cannot let her break your life.
My dancers will not break their contract with me.
You think she is yours, don't you?
She is mine, and I am hers.
Not anymore. Come along, Sue.
I must stay. I can't leave.
All right, Harry. Back to square one for my naughty chickens. Pliés.
2 demi-pliés, 1 grand plié in each position. Balance and hold. Turn and on the other side. All right? And preparation. 1, 2. boys and girls. I want you calm. I want you control.
And you want them beautiful, Harry?
And I want you beautiful.
Have you lost something, my brood? Let's find it together. Concentrate and be happy in your hearts. Harry can look after your bodies, but your heart, my dears, is for you to find. With feelings.
With feeling. Boys and girls, with feeling.
Too precious. You're too precious, Harry. We don't want any Prince Charmings or Fairy Queens.
No, loves, you're much too precious.
That's right, assert yourself, Harry, assert yourself.
Well, not your festivals and your royals, you know. We're dramatic.
That's it, from the beginning.
Right. From the beginning. Preparation, 1, 2.